Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There's a chart analyst out here who's saying that XRP will be valued on the high end at $220 per XRP by September of next year, 2020. What do you think? Is this going to happen? All right, so I'm going to get into the reasons why. I'm going to give you the whole backstory of what this guy has to say, and you can tell me if you think this is realistic or completely nuts. I'm going to read through it. I'm not entirely convinced. Let me just say that. I'm not entirely convinced, but I got to tell you, I think these price conversations are very fun. I always think that the topic's fun for conversation, so I'm always happy to share with you when somebody's willing to put their butt on the line and actually make a prediction like this. So I'm going to talk about that, and primarily that, and the other topic I want to talk about, which is not XRP related, is, and I'll cover it towards the end of the video, but Binance, they are just killing it out there in terms of dominance. They've got just crazy volumes, and so there's an A&B crypto article talking about the success that they're having and their place in the market, so I'll cover that again towards the end of the video. But before I get into the content of this, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe. It's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. All right, so here's a tweet from XRP Crow. This is how I came across this. He made an infographic, and XRP Crow, he makes just awesome infographics. I always see him in my Twitter feed. And so here's the infographic, and it's from @MagicPoopCannon, which is the most adult name. Like, I'll tell you what, I thought my name was stupid until I saw this, and then I was like, okay, now I'm the adult in the room. Here we go. Moon Lambo, right, is a more reasonable name than this. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. But anyway, so here's a quote from him, apparently. And I read this, and I was like, what the hell am I looking at as I was reading this? So, and the quote from @MagicPoopCannon is, XRP is going to rip the naysayers' faces off as it warps space-time and blasts into another dimension. So I was like, all right, dude, I like your style. That sounds ridiculous. I want to hear more. And so here's the tweet from XRP Crow, and it was that, and then it linked to the guy. So I clicked on him, and here, I'll just highlight him here. And so I followed him as a result. And as it turns out, this guy's got like almost 30,000 followers on Twitter. So, yeah, if that many people are following him, I mean, it's got to be legit to some degree. This, again, today is the first I've heard of this individual, so consider that as well as I'm reporting all of this to you. But here's a tweet from him. Check this out. I found this. XRP will change the world. #XRP USD chart. And so he's making this prediction on TradingView.com, and I'm going to show you what the prediction is. It's on the screen right here, and then I'm going to give you his rationale for this. And you can see, so here's the blue. Here's where he's thinking that it's going to ultimately go, and he thinks that the run-up, seriously, September of 2020. You can see where I'm highlighting right now. September of 2020, XRP target on the high end, $220. My God, that'll be quite all right. Now, look, I want to be clear up front here. Like, I don't make price predictions. If I were saying I think XRP could be this by this date, I'd just be completely pulling these numbers out of thin air. I don't want to do that. That'd be disingenuous. I am intellectually honest. I don't do technical analysis. I just think this is a fun topic. So I want to clarify before reading further, because I'm going to share with you why he thinks this is happening. But I don't think that there's a limit to where the price of XRP can go. There's certainly no technical limit. $220, if you're talking, if there really is global adoption, that doesn't seem bonkers to me, because I believe that there will be cryptocurrencies, individual cryptocurrencies, that will have multi-trillion-dollar market caps. I think that is in the cards. And so I'm betting on XRP. I am Mr. Bull XRP. I think XRP has staying power. But I just want to be real up front here that I'm not convinced that it's going to hit this by then. I think a lot of this really has to, because this won't be utility based. Even if this happened, this would not be utility based. This would be more so if Bitcoin just ramps up and XRP follows. And at some point, I still believe XRP is going to overthrow Bitcoin in terms of market cap. Because utility matters. That's my whole investment thesis. I think utility really matters. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there before I read further. And none of this is financial advice. I'm not endorsing this. I just think it's a real fun piece to talk about on a Sunday afternoon here. So anyway, take it for what it's worth. So anyway, he writes, "Fear not XRP Army. XRP has been in a massive uptrend channel its entire life. So many people out there in the crypto community have negative opinions towards XRP, but here's what it boils down to. Despite what you may think, cryptocurrencies aren't going to destroy governments and banks' monopoly on money. Banks and governments are going to adapt and they're going to maintain control. I've said that so many times and it's true. XRP is practically the only cryptocurrency which has been working with banks, regulators, and government officials since day one. And let me clarify, people say that XRP is working with banks. That's literally not true. What he actually means, and I wish that people could be more precise with the language, they're referencing, no doubt, what Ripple is doing, building on top of the XRP ledger. XRP is just a digital asset. It has no ability to negotiate with anybody or engage in conversation. So XRP isn't doing any of that. Ripple, building on top of the XRP ledger, is working with banks, regulators, and government. And I think that's important because I don't like people using Ripple and XRP interchangeably. So I know it's nitpicky, but I think it's important. All right, now we'll continue. Also, every day, more and more banks are turning to Ripple and XRP. People say XRP is a banker's coin. So what? What is that money in your pocket? It's money that was created by banks. The notion that governments and banks are going to allow cryptocurrencies to totally destroy their control of money in the world is beyond unlikely. On the other hand, I think it is far more likely that they will merge into this space. They will adapt. In a world where banks and governments adopt cryptocurrencies, who is the first in line? XRP. There is a reason why it has the third highest market cap in the space. There's a reason why it has held that spot like a boss, completely unchallenged. In my eyes, the fact that so many people hate XRP is one of the most attractive things about it right now. And I gotta admit, like as it pertains to how Bitcoin maximalists feel about XRP, it kind of makes me think I'm onto something, because I do not subscribe to the down with banks, down with government point of view. I do not subscribe to that. I think it's an immature point of view, and I think maximalism of any coin is also an immature and uninsightful point of view. So don't share that anyway. But there is a reason that XRP is under attack, and I'm actually going to share a little bit in a separate topic after I finish covering this, but and I'll be brief on that one. But anyway, so let me continue here. Everyone is so focused on the current price. They're glued to the price action. XRP isn't moving. Bitcoin went up, but not XRP. They're also fixated on price because that's all they know. Probably a very small fraction of people in this space have the discipline to even do an hour of research a week, which is nothing. Yet the majority of those people are the ones who talk the most trash. I love Bitcoin. I really do. But how is that Lightning Network coming along? Oh, what? It sucks. Well, guess what? You can send Bitcoin on the XRP ledger instantly. Oh yeah, and you can avoid those hefty BTC fees too. And I'm sure he's talking about issuing IOUs on the ledger. Of course, Bitcoin itself is always going to be a part of the Bitcoin blockchain, but that's what he means. Anyway, and that's not even a that's not even a sliver of the capability of XRP. I still own Bitcoin, but XRP is something very special. Technically, there's a real path to XRP prices well over $100 and even $200, as you can see on the chart. What we need to watch for, though, is a confirmation of support on the bottom of the channel sometime later this year. If we see a big bounce there, it's game over. XRP is going to rip the naysayers' faces off as it warps space-time and blasts into another dimension. So there you go. That's where the quote came from. Thank you, sir. I'm the master of the charts, the professor, the legend, the king, and I go by the name of Magic au revoir. So anyway, that's what he says. You can tell me what you think below. Look, I don't think it's nutty, like the price point. I'm just not willing to put a timestamp on it, because to me, like, I don't know. Like, sit here, look here, let me scroll back up. Look at these patterns. Do you really think it's possible to deduce the time at which things are going to occur based on the last 5 years worth of history? The reason I have trouble with this is you don't know at what point massive institutional money flows are going to enter the space. That's one thing. That would affect retail investors separately. And in terms of adoption, though, and actual utility of XRP, I got to be perfectly honest with you. I think that's going to be a slow rise. I really do. Not that it won't increase. I think I should really parse this out. I think that there's going to be in terms of adoption of XRP, it will increase at an exponential rate. But I don't think that there's this concept of flipping a switch and then it's just a really high price and it stays there forever. I don't subscribe to that. I do think that you're going to see adoption and there will be a slow ramp up. And once it becomes clear that to banks that their competitors are all using XRapid, and what's that going to do to investor confidence? There's a whole number of reasons for it, which I've been talking about recently, so I don't want to dive back into. But as a result of that also, I don't believe that you're just going to see this massive run-up in the utility, which would lead to, I don't think the utility is going to lead to a price like this. And also consider this, and this is important to understand. When you're talking about how XRapid works, it utilizes an efficient path-seeking algorithm. So when you're talking about the buying and selling of XRP, fundamentally, the way that XRapid automatically completes these transactions of the buying and selling, it's fundamentally different than how humans behave. And this is a key point I don't know if I've made on this channel. I've written about it on Twitter a long time ago. I got into debates with other people. I've talked to Galgatron about it and some other people that are well known in the XRP community. Look, the algorithm itself, it's looking for the most cost-effective path. And what are humans doing? What are irrational humans doing? Well, they're buying sometimes, especially if emotion is involved, at a much higher price than what the person selling it paid for it. And you can see that especially when there are parabolic run-ups. And so when you're talking about an efficient path-seeking algorithm, that's not what causes parabolic run-ups in terms of price. And so the utility itself is not something that's going to cause massive price increases. What can cause massive price increases long-term, as I see it, is mass adoption of XRP. That will instill confidence that XRP is here to stay. Individual speculators like you and me, if that gives us confidence, we will hold it as either a store of value or maybe we're hoping it appreciates, one or the other. And that's where it comes. That's why once there's much more of a track record for XRP. Eventually, the volatility is going to go away. There will be less frenzy around this a few decades from now, and it'll just be something that everybody has in their portfolio. Because again, it's not going away. But the adoption of it shows that it's going to be here, and that instills the investor confidence. So the more developers building on top of the XRP ledger, the more likely it is that XRP will have staying power. But it's not automated transactions, which are not emotional transactions, that will drive the price up. It's more so the adoption of XRP at large. But if you think that in order to facilitate all of the demand through utility, if you think that's what's going to spike the price up, I got to insist there's nothing in that. What makes you believe that? There is nothing in XRapid that would should lead you to believe that's the case. Let humans do it. There will be parabolic run-ups, and then it will crash back down. And then once the frenzy around cryptocurrency goes away a long, long, long time from now, it'll probably be more or less flat, kind of like how the price of gold behaves. That's my long-term prediction. And by then, XRP you'd think would be worth just a fortune relative to what it is today, because we are really pioneers. And like if you're here in 2019, I don't care if the asset class has been around for a decade, it is early days. Early days. So I think there's a lot of reason for excitement. And again, none of this is financial advice because I don't have a financial background, but I'm just thinking through it logically. And there's no reason to believe that adoption of utility, there's nothing within the code itself that will make the price go up. Not even the automated transactions. That's not what they're doing. Humans behave differently. Humans are what decide the market rate. That is what will, first of all, result in the pools of liquidity being available, and it will be the humans associated with the buying and selling that determine what the market rate is. That's it. It's not the utility. It is not. It will always be humans determining the market rate. I can't stress that enough. It's not the adoption that chooses the rate. What would that even mean? Adoption choosing the price of XRP. That's a silly concept. And I've heard people say that, though. It's humans that decide it. So anyway, I'm going to leave this topic and hop on to something else. But please, tell me below what you think about this prediction of $220. Do you think it's possible? And if you think it's possible, do you think it will occur by September of next year? I'm going to vote no. I'm going to be honest with you. I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen that soon. If ever. And I don't know for sure if it ever will. I can definitely foresee it because I see, again, like I said, coins and multi-trillion-dollar market caps. I can absolutely see that. I think XRP's got a shot at being one of them. So to me, this is not absurd whatsoever. It really is not. You're just not. If you think it's absurd, then you're just not visionary enough. You're not thinking big picture enough on a global level. But still, just the timeline for that, I don't know about that, man. You can tell me what you think. If you think it, it's not that I think you're nuts. I'm curious about your opinion, but I can't be on board with that train of thought. All right, next here, somebody named Dennis tagged me, wrote, at Moonlambo, hey, I watch you on YouTube. Today you mentioned you don't go all in one crypto. I assume you are diversified. I need to be, as I'm all in XRP. Can you maybe present an example of how you are diversified? And is it a good time to do it? XRP/BTC offers little thanks. Yeah, let me clarify what I mean. In terms of what I'm doing, and I'm not saying this like don't just do what I'm doing. I'm happy to share what I'm doing though. I purchased a bunch of stuff when I jumped into crypto, and I felt like I was gambling, and I was totally cool with that. But realistically, I might as well have just lit money on fire. So I bought a bunch of things. It wasn't like a big amount of money. I was just like, oh, whatever. I don't know this crypto thing. I wasn't planning on it. Doing the crazy amount of research that I've been doing the last 1 year and 8 months, and that I continue to do on a daily basis. I didn't know I'd be that into it. But as a result, I bought a bunch of cryptos, and then I thought I was just going to stop, and then I found out about XRP, and ever since then, all I've bought since the beginning of 2018 and onward, it's just XRP. The other cryptos I own, I just haven't sold them. I don't care. They're probably all going to go to zero. I really don't care. I really, really, really don't care if they do, and if I get something from them, super duper. It's just, I don't have that much money in them. In terms of diversification within crypto, I have no interest in it personally. I'm just in XRP, period, because I believe that utility matters. Until I see an option for utility in any other coin, I'm not going to invest in another coin. There's only one out of the thousands of cryptocurrencies out there that I see being used in the commercial production of anything. That's it. It's XRP. So for me, that's it. But I am not counting on XRP or cryptocurrency in general to be my retirement fund. I'm going to retire without crypto. I hope that it's something, I really do, but I'm one of those people that only puts a relatively small percentage of net worth into this, really small percentage, and if I'm right, it could still be worth a fortune. And if I'm not, then okay, it's not going to kill me. But I want to be able to sleep at night, so I put in what I'm willing to lose. But no, I'm more traditional. Just invest in traditional asset classes, and that's what I personally. I'm not telling you to do this, but if a friend or a family member were asking me, like that's what I'd say to do to them. That's what I'd tell them, because I just think if you put everything in crypto, okay, hey, maybe you're brave if you do that. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, and it's not like I think low of you if you're doing something different than me. It's okay to do different stuff and have different opinions, but for me, that would not work. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. All right, next here, this is from Peter Zacharias. This is the guy that predicted XRP was getting down to like 13 cents perhaps. And it was a tweet in response to Eric Dadoon. Eric tweeted out, "Crypto anarchists, no one will ever use XRP. It has no use case." And then he writes, "MoneyGram, we use XRP because it has a use case. XRP community, smiley face." Then he wrote, hashtag stop the tribalism, hashtag utility. And then Peter responded, "Too bad they only use it because they got paid by Ripple to use it, so not a very compelling argument, I'd say." And that's complete nonsense. Look, like I mentioned in my last video, it's okay to incentivize new technology monetarily, but if there weren't actual use to it, this deal wouldn't have gone down. So that is nonsense. Peter, you're full of it. You're absolutely full of it. Tone Vase is even more full of it. And he wrote, "Yup, it's like saying Bill Clinton believes in XRP when he spoke at their event on or that the former SEC enforcement head, Mary Jo White, actually believes it's not a security of Ripple. Hence, she is their defense attorney in the lawsuit." Okay, so let me ask you, Tone Vase, if XRP is a security of Ripple, is it also a security of Coil? Is it also a security of Coinbase? Is it a security of Binance? Is it a security of Omni? Is it a security of R3? Why is it just one developer? Doesn't make sense. XRP Famous responded to Tone Vase, "If you really think about it, all these Bitcoin maxis only bash one digital asset out of thousands. They bash the one that actually has most utility and partnerships. Why? Because they are afraid. You really think they would give XRP the time of day if they thought XRP was S-word? And absolutely well-written, XRP Famous. I completely agree with you. It's completely nonsensical. Let's call it out when we see it." All right, here's a piece from Daily Hodl. This will be real quick here. Microsoft reveals new Ethereum-based project, which is not why I'm covering this. Plus news on Stellar, XRP, and Litecoin. And then we get down to the XRP portion. UK-based crypto exchange CEX.io is supporting new fiat on-ramps for both XRP and Litecoin. XRP is now paired with the British pound, and Litecoin is paired with both the British pound and the euro. The exchange also recently added both Tron and BitTorrent tokens, paired with the United States dollar, euro, and Bitcoin. So here's the actual tweet from CX.io. "New pairs will be listed on July 31st after 2 p.m. UK time." And then the portion about XRP, XRP/GBP, a new trading pair for the Ripple market. And I love seeing this on exchanges. All this is going to do is increase XRP liquidity. Happy to report on this. All right, last piece, and then I got to wrap this video up. Binance's, this is from AMB Crypto, Binance's total monthly volume of 42.1 billion USD ensures exchange's dominance. Digital asset provider Crypto Compare recently launched a crypto exchange guideline which aimed at ranking exchanges. The latest report from Crypto Compare revealed an array of exchange volume rankings in various categories. As per the report, Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange, topped the crypto-to-crypto exchanges by average daily volume list with an average daily volume of 1.6 billion USD and a monthly volume of 42.1 billion USD in June. The report also indicated that the total monthly volume of Binance was up by 12.7% since May. The CZ-led exchange currently lists about 185 coins and has 584 trading pairs. Binance not only triumphs in the exchange platform, but has also witnessed immense success with its coin, BNB. Binance's late entry into the coin game hasn't hindered its growth, as the multiple developments on the platform has pushed its coin into the top 10, beating other prominent cryptocurrencies like TRX, BSV, USDT, etc. With only 73 coins listed in it, the Chinese crypto exchange ZB stood second in the list with an average daily volume of 1.3 billion United States dollars and a total monthly volume of 39.3 billion. And I'm not going to read the rest of the piece here, but wanted to read this to show you Binance absolutely killing it out there. All right, I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!